how to read financial statements as well. Okay, so now let's go to that last company, Landmark Cars. So Landmark Cars में ethos के बाद इसलिए रखा because Landmark Cars is the same business model as ethos. The product is not luxury watch. The product is luxury cars. That's the only difference. So say for example, I am Mercedes Benz, okay, and I want to sell my new, or Mercedes Benz क्या है? Mercedes Benz brings out with new models every 6 months to 9 months, right? And they would want to sell these newer models in India. Again, same logic, premiumization, correct? अब रास्ते में जाओगे in Bangalore, Calcutta, Delhi, you will see a lot of Mercedes Benz and BMW and the SUV cars, right? You will, and I'll give you one more statistic here, like a fact here. You would see the luxury car market is growing. I think I've also covered that point in one of the slides here in Landmark Cars, but that's one of the places where the luxury car market is growing at a double-digit rate. Whereas if you look at a mass premium or like the mass category, like for example, ये सब Maruti Omni हो गया और ये सब Swift का गाड़ी हो गया, इनका ग्रोथ नहीं हो रहा है, ठीक है? So अगर अब तुम मारुति का भी देखोगे, वो भी आपका SUV का सेगमेंट में, वो ब्रेजा वेजा में और बड़े बड़े लेवल के गाड़ी में वो वहां पे वो पुश कर रहा है. टाटा मोटर्स you already know, M&M, no need to talk about it. So Landmark Cars is basically the largest authorized retail dealer of luxury cars in India. That's it. So just replace luxury watches with luxury cars, and that is exactly the difference between ethos and Landmark Cars. So see, you have to connect the dots in this kind of way to understand business models. So there are so many business models which are very much linked, but dekh ke alag lagta hai, but then it's very, very similar. Okay, so again, just read with me here. One of the largest multi-brand का मतलब एक से ज्यादा brand, like ethos is also multi-brand, right? You saw so many Swiss watches का company. So यहाँ भी multi-brand automobile dealers of premium and luxury cars. So Landmark Cars don't shit around here. They only sell, they only retail, right? So basically, how do they make money? Same thing. Mercedes comes out with a new car, and they know India mein aake they can't set up their own plants and everything. So what they do is they give the car to the inventory of Landmark Cars. Landmark Cars की inventory में गाड़ी रहता है, and then Landmark Cars का काम इस गाड़ी को बेचना and get a commission from Mercedes. That's all the business model is. So Landmark Cars provides dealership of Mercedes Benz, Volkswagen, Jeep, Honda, Renault, and BYD. BYD is nothing but the Tesla का China version है, ठीक है? So it's an EV car manufactured in China, and this company has 106 dealership. This company means I'm talking about Landmark Cars. 106 dealership hai in 26 cities. So can you understand one thing? Like businesses like Ethos 20 cities, Landmark Cars 26 cities, right? मतलब इनका अभी growth, मतलब it can be a decadal growth stories of Landmark Cars, Ethos, Sula, इस type का businesses को. This is why we are taking all these companies, right? Landmark Cars are also in the business of selling pre-owned cars. Again, Ethos का जो second-hand watch market था, ये है उनका second-hand car, right? Because second-hand आप वही चीज का बेच सकते हो. You can only sell second-hand luxury items. You cannot sell second-hand like mass items, right? Of selling pre-owned cars as penetration of organized used cars grow in India, right? So again, this is the most important point now. The premium and luxury segment in India shall grow at 14 to 16% CAGR in the next 5 years. The mass market segment shall continue to remain static. That's what I'm trying to say. For the next 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, this is another great statement that shows that premiumization trend is here to stay. You cannot bet on the mass market segments in any product categories in India, whether it's apparels, whether it's jewelry, whether it's anything. You're not going to make money in the stock market. Let me tell you that. You have to stay with premium products in India, and absolute premium products. Not even thinking, it's not even a bridge to luxury. So let's say if you're buying a mall, let's say for example, try to buy Phoenix malls. And it's not stock recommendation, but having said that, don't go down Phoenix malls, because Phoenix mall अगर आप देखोगे, Phoenix mall पैसा बनाता है, because अगर आप Phoenix mall के अंदर भी, because we'll be covering Phoenix mall in another workshop, Phoenix mall भी अंदर क्या कर रहा है पता है? जो पुराने जो ब्रांड्स हुआ करता था, जो मास प्रीमियम और मास सेगमेंट में, उनको हटा के एकदम लग्जरी ब्रांड्स ला रहा है. सो लग्जरी ब्रांड्स हमें चाहिए हमारे पोर्टफोलियो में, जिसका ब्रांड हो, जिसका प्रीमियम प्रोडक्ट्स हो, जिसका माइंड शेयर हो कस्टमर में, लो मार्केट कैप हो, और जिसका मैनेजमेंट बहुत भूखा हो. द मैनेजमेंट मस्ट बी हंग्री फॉर ग्रोथ. लाइक यू सॉ, राइट? सूला का मैनेजमेंट 20% का ग्रोथ आउटलुक, एथोस का मैनेजमेंट यू सॉ, राइट, 30% का आउटलुक. एंड नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू सी व्हाट द मैनेजमेंट ऑफ लैंडमार्क कार्स सेइंग. So Landmark Cars के बारे में again, like you can understand how they are growing is they have grown mostly by acquiring dealership. So previously what used to happen was like there were many unorganized dealers of Mercedes Benz in India, right? So what Landmark Car has done, they went to Punjab and they bought a couple of dealers. They went to UP, they bought a couple of dealers, and they are now the largest organized largest organized automobile dealer in India. तो आज अगर आप देखोगे Mercedes Benz would want to interact with businesses like Landmark Cars which are organized rather than with the unorganized place. But the unorganized place also have a particular market in the local geography. So that is why what Landmark Cars do is they expand by the inorganic route. Okay, so Landmark Cars services its customers through the entire life cycle from selling the new cars. क्या क्या करते हैं? Selling the new cars, selling third party products like financing भी करता है, right? Insurance का भी distribution करके commission लेता है, providing after sales service like maintenance, accident repair and accessories for car care. Now, after sales service is a big part which is growing consistently at 20% CAGR for the last 8 years. Now think about this. If you have a Mercedes Benz, you would want to go an authorized dealer to get your car serviced. If you have a Swift Desire, you would want to go to a local कोई भी एक dealer के दुकान में और आपको बोलोगे ये part लगा दो, वो part लगा दो, because you know you bought a 6-7 lakhs का car. But if you buy a car जिसका price है 80 lakh rupees, you would want to go to a retail. और क्या होता है, with every servicing के बाद आपका bill आपका आता है 50,000 70,000 rupees, right? So यहाँ से एक बड़ा 20-25% का एक chunk, I mean sorry, 25% नहीं 15% आता है from after sale services, right? And 85% of Landmark Cars का total revenue आता है from selling new cars, right? So ये बन जाता है. You can all, of course, pause the video and read this again. This is the con call highlights, again like in notes format में था, so मैंने इसका directly यहाँ पे छाप दिया. So यहाँ पे clearly देखो, this is the second con call of the company with the management. So that means what? नया con call कर रहे हैं, नया शेयर बाजार में आए हैं. ये कौन सा companies करते हैं नया con calls? Like the first con call, second con call history is like when the company knows they have a great future. अगर आपका future अच्छा है, then only आप जाके लोगों को बताओगे ना. You will go and tell people like, look how great we are doing, how good we are growing. So invest in us. In that way, I'm saying if you know you have a poor outlook in the future, why would you want to have a con call? Okay, so they also added MG Morris motors in the portfolio. Now here is the thing. They earn commission, of course. You understand how do they make money? By selling new cars, selling third-party insurance, and get an annual maintenance fee. Blah blah. We have covered all these things. Now, pre-owned car is another area of focus. Just like Ethos का secondary watch market will grow at a faster pace. यहाँ पे भी pre-owned cars वो क्या करते हैं? Now Ethos में स्टोरूम में आते हैं. Ethos को बोलता है कि sorry, Landmark Cars को बोलते हैं कि like I want to sell my Mercedes. It's like a 6-year-old car. So what Landmark Cars does is कि like it takes the car, it buys the car from that customer, gives the money to that customer, the customer goes. Then the Landmark Cars calls up Mercedes Benz and asks for the latest parts. तो वो parts भी आ जाता है because Mercedes Benz only gives their original parts to the authorized dealers and not the other dealers. We'll actually talk more about this in a bit more detail, like how Landmark Cars are different from the other local dealers, right? But coming to this, then they get the original parts, they repair the car, and then they sell the second-hand car at a profit, of course, right? So that's the whole focus. And Mercedes Benz don't have a problem with this. Why? I'll tell you. Because as I told you, right, more the number of second-hand vehicles of a luxury brand on the road, more will be the propensity. Because अगर dad के पास second hand Mercedes है तो बेटा सोचेगा कि I will buy the first hand Mercedes. So more will be the sale of first hand cars of the same brand. That's how you can look at it. That's why you would also always see Apple जितना भी iPhone 14, 15 लाए, there are still Apple 8, Apple iPhone 8 and Apple iPhone 10 and Apple iPhone 11 which are still into manufacturing because people will want to upgrade, right, from an 8 to 10 to 12 to 15. And I think that's also what happened to me as well. I have always been an Apple iPhone user right from iPhone 4 and I'm using an iPhone 13 right now. So यही होता है. But I never buy the latest iPhone. So let's say for example अभी मेरे पास 13 है, right? But I did not buy 13 when the 13 launched, right? I bought 13 the day when iPhone 14 launched and I got it at a discount, the iPhone 13. So that's how I look at it. I'll probably buy an iPhone 14 or 15 when iPhone 16 will launch. So that's how I look at it. So this is the pre-owned. But by the way, mobile phones में second hand market नहीं होते हैं, right? Mobile phones नहीं करते, लोग उसको फेंक देते हैं and they buy a new phone. So ASP for luxury cars have gone up by 25% in FY23. Can you imagine? So यहाँ पे value growth, volume growth से ज़्यादा है. Average selling price has gone up by 25% and people have happily bought cars, right? So this clearly shows the demand towards luxury and premium products. I think I have convinced you guys enough. इसके बाद भी अगर आप premium products का stocks नहीं खरीदते हो, then only God can help your portfolio. Because if you are in this field, right, and you want to build a solid portfolio, you have to think of the premiumization trend in India. So Again, just a fact here, the Landmark Cars have sold 21,000 cars in India, right, in FY23, and serviced over 3.1 lakh cars. So kya hota hai, if you're servicing over 3-4 lakh cars, and that means what, 3 lakh premium cars are entering your showroom, right? They entered in FY23. That means what? This is the marketplace on which they can cross sell, right? There are many people who would come, get the servicing done, or फिर बाद में जाके will sell the second hand car, right? There will be many people who will sell the second hand car, move to a premium first hand car, correct? So this is the marketplace for them. This is why servicing is a critical, although servicing contributes only 15% of revenue, but this servicing of car, this is what the company says, can grow at 20% of CAGR, and this can actually help into sales of new car as well as sales of the new second hand cars. Okay, so management outlook and capex. Again, like I've written a lot of things here, but just read, because again I write in notes format. Now, after sales services to grow at 20%, right? Now you understand this is the secular part of it. Now, when you're selling new cars here, and I know, right, like we are into this premium car segment, so majority of the revenues come from selling premium cars and luxury cars. But the point is this, right? The auto sector is cyclical in nature, and I don't know whether ये premium cars or luxury cars का cyclicality क्या होता है. I mean, that is the reason why I haven't invested in this company. Okay, I would want to see where this is headed. Okay, probably track this business because this is one of my favorite businesses to track. But I haven't put my money in this business because of the fact I want to see, okay, when let's say when a down cycle in auto comes, would a sale of Mercedes get affected, BMW get affected, or you're saying since the base is so small and people are shifting more towards premiumization, the recovery is K-shaped, like in the economy. Poor got poorer, rich got richer. If this trend I see continuing for the next 6, 7, 8, 10 quarters, I would definitely want to build my position in this company, because I know at the end of the day, I want Mercedes Benz in my portfolio, right? I want something which everybody would want in the future. I mean, there is no person in the world who would sell a Mercedes Benz and go back to a Nano, right? वैसा तो होता नहीं है. So ये है एक logic. So Mercedes has taken the lead, means ये लोग जो कार्स बेचते हैं मेजॉरिटी दे सेल मर्सिडीज, बट अदर ओईएम्स का मतलब है वोक्सवैगन हो गया, फिर आपका ये कौन सा ओईएम्स था आपका जीप हो गया, होंडा हो गया, रेनॉल्ट हो गया, right? So they are also going to significantly contribute to top lines, correct? So now here is the game, right? Now here is point number 3 is very critical. Okay, now let's understand this. Now you would understand that there were companies like Go Mechanic जो अपने बिजनेस को चालू किया था just to provide after sales service, just to provide that, but they went out of business, right? So why did Go Mechanic go out of business? जबकि let's say Landmark Cars may, let's say for example, like I am bullish and I believe they won't go out of business, right? The answer is this. The answer is the definition of an authorized dealer. So Mercedes, जैसे मैंने वो पिछले slide में भी I just touched upon this point. Mercedes sells. Now listen to this carefully. They sell their original parts. The company Mercedes Benz, they sell their original parts only to authorized dealers, correct? So authorized dealers like Landmark can get the parts from Mercedes, and say for example, if you are Go Mechanic, you are not an authorized dealer, correct? But then तुमको भी तो एक Mercedes को after sale service करना है, and you need parts. So whom do you go to? You can't go to Mercedes, right? Then you would go to the authorized dealer to get the part. So here क्या हो रहा है? Go Mechanic to survive will have to pay a higher price, because यहाँ पे बीच में Landmark Cars आ रहा है. Are you getting me? So if Landmark Cars pays 100 rupees for a part, let's say कोई gear का कोई part है, right? If Go Mechanic comes and, Go Mechanic can't go to Mercedes, right? So Go Mechanic has to come to an authorized dealer, right? Because they themselves are not an authorized dealer. So if they come to Landmark Cars will charge them 120 bucks. Got it? So that's a 20% increase. And Go Mechanic has no other option but to buy, because or else how would they service that car? Because let's say customer आके बैठा है और बोल रहा है कि gearbox में problem है. Now what would you do? Right? This is why they go bankrupt. Because I'll tell you why did they go out of businesses? Because if you look at the total servicing cost, उसका 70% parts का खर्चा होता है. 70% of total cost, servicing after sales cost, is your parts का cost, right? And if somebody, an authorized dealer, is exploiting you on that same parts ka price, then how will you stay in business? Because see, the point is, if you are getting duped on that 70% part, I'm not saying duped, but of course, if I'm an authorized dealer, I will take advantage, correct? So वो बाकी के 30% में how much can you save? So that's what Landmark Cars का management said on the call कि how much can they save on manpower and rent? Rent भी तो सबका equal है ना? मतलब say for example if you have opened 1000 square feet का 2 जगह, एक ऑथराइज्ड डीलर भी वही रेंट पे करेगा, एक नॉन ऑथराइज्ड डीलर भी आपको वही रेंट पे करेगा, करेक्ट? सो बाकी का खर्चा तो फिक्स्ड है फॉर बोथ द पार्टीज, बट इफ यू आर एन ऑथराइज्ड डीलर you can only stay alive if you can take the parts directly from the main company, and uske liye you need to be an authorized dealer, or else the company also won't trust you with their original parts na. Ab kis part ko leke koi kaise bhi kahan pe laga doge, no idea. So this is why businesses like Go Mechanic and all that went out of business, right? जबकि और अब देख रहे हो जब Go Mechanic goes out of business, पूरा market landmark cars की तरफ धीरे-धीरे करके आ रहा है, and they can scale up operations. This is also one more reason why they can inorganic. Just I also touched upon this point कि inorganic way में they are acquiring the dealers. तो कोई नया शहर में let's say उनको बिहार में जाना है, तो पटना में जाके they can आराम से acquire the dealer because the dealer is probably struggling. Okay, and they can go acquire the dealer, and of course they can get the base, and वो अगर dealer का base मिल गया तो उनका सारा clients भी आपको मिल गया वहां पे, right? So it's like a ready-made market they get just by going, and then they just have to buy the dealer off. So there are hardly any workshop of size as well. So that's another thing here, right? If you're an authorized dealer, you need to work in size. There can be 10, 15, 30 cars, right? जो आपके workshop में पड़ा रह सकता है, right? So अब point वही पे है ना कि like if you're an unauthorized dealer, you're always cash crunched, right? As I told you, why will you be cash crunched? Because parts लेने का ही 70% है total service का, और उसके लिए भी एक authorized dealer आपको exploit कर रहा है. So आपका दुकान छोटा होगा, ज्यादा गाड़ी नहीं आ पाएगा, you know. So that means what? अगर there is any, so this is what this company says, Landmark Card says, that there is hardly any workshop of any substantial size. And they even like said the analyst community ke like you can go out and see the workshops here and there around. You will see chote, all the small workshops are there, not any big workshop. So only authorized dealers can sell. Okay, authorized dealers can also sell extended warranty in second-hand cars, right? By the way, जो मैं ये सब बता रहा हूँ, this is nothing but competitive advantage or economic moat, जो वॉरेन बफे का टर्म है, right? ये सब moat है business का, right? Extended warranty भी बेच सकता है. So let's say for example, if a car comes here, now when can you sell extended warranty? Again, if you are an authorized dealer, or else the main company would not allow you to extend your warranty. So let's say for example, अगर कोई गाड़ी लेके कोई आता है, and let's say आपने उसको after service sales service लिया, and you take a bit of a premium from that person and say like, okay, if you give us this amount, it's like an insurance का premium की तरह, I will increase the warranty by 1 year, right? And so the customer is happy to pay that premium now because it's a luxury car, right? Luxury car में people do insurance. Local car में 4 लाख के गाड़ी में people insurance करने के पहले 10 बार सोचता है, correct? But luxury car has to be insured, correct? So उस एंगल से अगर आप देखोगे तो वारंटी भी ये दे सकता है because they have the bargaining power. I'm talking about Landmark Cars. Okay, so basically supplies of new models from the OEM deter the sale of Landmark. Of course, right? This is the, I would say this is the risk here. Risk is like, say for example, like a naya model. So let's say Mercedes Benz doesn't come out with the new models, Honda doesn't come out with the new model, Renault doesn't come out with new models, right? And there is no supply of new models, right? तो इनका क्या होगा? इनका इन्वेंटरी भी कम होता रहेगा, और उनका because see, if the OEMs are not making cars, what will Landmark Cars sell, right? Because they're an authorized dealer, just like Ethos. I mean, if the Swiss watches don't come to India, then what are they going to sell? Like in stores, मतलब मच्छर मारेंगे फिर बैठ के. So वही है, the constraint is the supply situation, and of course because of the emission norms. So basically क्या problem हुआ है Landmark Cars में हुआ है because I mean you can also go and Google this. If you look at the Jeep the car, right? उसका जो पेट्रोल वाला वर्जन है, they had to discontinue production and they had to recall many other cars. Why? Because Jeep का जो emission norms है, उसका engine का they did not clear. As a result of which Jeep का पूरा production बंद करना पड़ा. Now अगर Jeep का production बंद करना पड़ा तो उसका direct effect comes to Landmark Cars as well. So I hope you guys are like getting the point here. So the constraint is the supply situation is what am I saying. So since some models are discontinued because of the emission norms, some models can be discontinued for some other reason. This will affect the growth outlook and the revenue and the the profitability of the company. So ये बनता है ये company का, because we talked about the moat so far. Now we are talking about the risk here, right? So of course, like that's what the company is saying here. Like another reason why I'm not investing in right now is because management clearly बोल दिया है because of this. The car stopping production of a few brands. Q1 will be flattish. Q1 and most probably the first half of fiscal 24 will be flattish. But of course, they are bullish on the second half of the fiscal after, let's say, for example, the festival season comes. And of course, this whole emission norms and all this nonsense will go away. And then again, the Jeep. Because if you look at the Jeep brand, now they can sell only the diesel version and not the petrol version. Okay. So can you see, I mean, like now we can just read and just finish it off, like less local competition, margins improve. We have discussed all these things. And again, no discounts, right? So when you don't give discounts, just like Ethos, it's a great thing because it's a luxury products, right? I don't want my company to give discounts and sell products. Okay. So Landmark has 1,000 cars coming in every day. Har din 1,000 companies aata hai for service ke liye. So it can start the second-hand car business, unlike other companies that do not have supplies of car. Ye bhi ek issue hai, right? As I told you, right? Big space, right? And so many cars coming, like 3.1 lakh cars came, right? In FY23, around 1,000 cars are coming every day, right? So that means they already have a marketplace for the second-hand car, right? Unlike other stores, jahan pe din mein 5-6 car gaadi bhi sahi pe nahi aata hai. So this is another advantage, right? The focus is on pre-owned cars, extended warranty, and inorganic acquisition, right? Inorganic acquisition of the non-authorized dealers in other parts of the country. So now they're in like 25, 26 cities. I expect them to go to 50 cities in the next 2-3 years, right? Aram se ja hi sakta hai because of the demand that I see in luxury cars. So Mercedes ka ASP is up 15% in FY23 and shift towards higher end of the brand. Again, a clarification on why premiumization I am so bullish. Because think about this, एक side में Mercedes and BMW can increase ASPs, average selling price by 15-25%, and दूसरे side में Relaxo can't increase the price of chappal for 100 rupees, right? This is where the country is headed. Even though, and the second thing is you have to look at the size. The so small size. India में I guess you don't even sell more than 20,000 Mercedes cars in a year. I can aram se see India selling 50,000 to 1 lakh Mercedes car in 3 to 5 years time, right? Matlab, fir bhi I'm saying 1 lakh Mercedes, 2 lakh Mercedes. This is nothing in a country of 140 crore people. Okay, so financials, let me just, okay, so can you just see sales have gone up by 16% and PAT has gone up by 27%. So that means what? That means this company has some sort of an operating leverage. Okay, let's just finish this up by going to the financials. I mean, the rest of the financials. Okay, just give me 1 second. Okay, so now here is the thing. Let's go to the income statement first. Yeah, can you see? Right? 1 second. Let me go to the consolidated numbers. Yeah. This is the top line growth. Can you see? We have to check for what are the things we need to check. Other income, very low item, move on. Employee benefit expense, can you see the number has been going up YOY? So move on, nothing's wrong. Then you look at finance cost, it's pretty much under control. So we move on to the next line item. Okay, and then you see the PAT. You can clearly see the PAT growth on a YOY basis is more than the sales growth. So the company has operating leverage. Let's move on. Now let's understand how the company has been making cash and how they have been investing. So in FY23, can you see cash operating profits before working capital and fixed capital investments kitna tha? 2,400 rupees compared to 1,700 in the last year. अब हम देखते हैं 2,400 में. अब देखो, now here is the thing, company ने 1,100 rupees डाल दिया inventory में, right? Why? Because one of the analysts actually asked this question, why is your increase in inventory so much? Because last year the inventory increase over the previous year was 393 rupees. This year over the previous year was 1,100 rupees. So inventory has gone up like almost like 4x type. So उन्होंने क्या बोला? The high increase in inventory in FY23 because there are many OEMs that came out with new models like Volkswagen and Jeep, right? The inventory number shall come down in the coming quarter. So basically क्या होता है? When Volkswagen and Jeep came out with a lot of new models, right? ये कंपनी से तो गाड़ी को तो लेना पड़ेगा, right? गाड़ी को तो लेके अपनी इन्वेंटरी में रखना पड़ेगा. Then they have to sell it. अपना शोरूम में they have to display the car, correct? So when they are displaying the car, they have to display the car, and the car is then in the inventory of Landmark cars and not in Volkswagen or Jeep. So first understand this difference. Second is like when your inventory number is high, that the management is saying like the models have just come out. That's why, because balance sheet and cash flow statement हम करते हैं वो 31st March का देख के. So now we are saying like going forward, the car is going to sell itself, Volkswagen and Jeep का, and the inventory number is going to come down, and inventory number घटेगा और cash flow operations बढ़ेगा. That's how it is. Right. Second is what the management also said, that they don't hold stock for more than a month. So generally when a new model car, any car comes, it gets sold within a month. That's what they said, because they're dealing with, premium cars. Like that's the logic here. Okay. So next thing is nothing more to see here apart from inventory. Other things are all okay. So if you look at cash flow from operations as well, 709 rupees. So from 2400 rupees, you spend the majority money there in inventory, and now you're left with, let's say, 709 rupees. Out of that, you have spent almost the entire money into purchasing fixed assets, right? That means what? That means the company is bullish about the future, right? So यहाँ पे working capital investments भी हो गए, inventory and fixed capital investment भी अच्छे से कर लिया. So this is what it is. And even if you can see, the fixed capital investments have almost like doubled from last year to this year. Like last year they spent 415 crore. 415 rupees. This year they've spent like almost 2x, 719 rupees, right? That's it. And again, of course, in the cash flow statement, the company came out with IPO and all that. So they got 1399 rupees, around 1400 rupees on all that. So this is how you read it. Okay, one last thing is you look at the ROE number. Okay, you can also do a cash flow CFO to PAT. How do you look at CFO to PAT? CFO is 709. Let's look at PAT. PAT was 851. So CFO to PAT is 7/8, which is probably 80-85%, like 0.85 or something, which is okay, right? I mean, don't just look at a number one. मतलब scientifically उतना मत देखिए. Just approximation में देखिए, between 0.8 and 1.2, the CFO to PAT is there. That means company जो profits दिखा रहा है, accounting profits in the income statement, they are actually converting that more or less into cash flow from operations. So that's a good sign. Okay. So now let's look at the ROE number, the last number before we like finish these things off. So return on equity, again, what is net income? I think the return on equity number you can calculate. Just look at net income from the income statement and equity from the balance sheet. And the ROE number has come out to be around 18%. Jabki the last year, the ROE number was 26%. Now, why did the ROE number go down this year versus last year? Because उन्होंने IPO का funding उठाया था. That increased shareholder equity base. But so basically that's not a problem here. यहाँ पे देखिए, the ROE number has actually gone down from 26% in FY22 to 18% in FY23. Again, if you don't understand the business model and what's happening in it, you would say the business का ROE घट रहा है, तो it's a bad business. No, it's because in आपका profit after tax is gone up, correct? From 661 crore to 851 rupees, right? So it has gone up by a good amount, but the equity base has gone up by at a much bigger pace, like 1400 crore add hua hai, because the company has diluted stake and what future growth. Okay, that's it. कोई ALM mismatch भी नहीं है. That's all we have to say in this. I think I'm done. I will go back and stop the presentation. Yeah, so today, like always, we started this with 3 companies in the consumption, the premiumization trend. We'll be covering, I think 3 to 4 or workshops. Prerna will be covering companies like Metro Brands and all that, which is also a theme in the whole premiumization trend. So that's more or less about it for this workshop. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So please start practicing the financial statements, very critical, right? Because as I told you, so many people come to me and they say the same thing, right? Like how to analyze financials and all that. So I have gone through that entire step. You can go back and read it from the annual reports or this quarterly doc of Q4, and you can figure out like, because since we have to cover so many businesses, right? And we have to figure out which are the good opportunities. The stock market doesn't wait for anybody. The stock market won't think, oh, okay, you're doing an Excel sheet nonsense, so let's wait, right? So we have to catch the opportunities very, very, very quickly. So if you don't have the mental acumen to develop, to catch opportunities quickly, you shouldn't be in the stock market. So on that note, I hope you guys like this video. Until next time, goodbye.